Hey, Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy holidays. This is Saba Badaki, and I am saying hello and want to talk about why knowledge is not power. And so, in case anyone wants to know what they want to get me for Christmas, I would love to have a new tripod because mine is misbehaving today. So anyway, so let me just kind of tell you quickly, because I know many of you guys are either out there planning what you're going to do for 2018, or you've already planned out everything that you're going to do for 2018. You're kind of thinking about it, or you're just not even online because you already are in full holiday mode. But I just wanted to kind of drop this on a Friday before the big holiday and talk about why knowledge is not power. And we tend to say that a lot, right? Knowledge is power. We go to all kinds of different events, and we're constantly learning and paying lots of money to go to conferences and lots of money to be a part of the groups. And we feel that once we have this knowledge, that our businesses would change so much, that we're going to see such a difference in our business. We're going to make more money. It's going to be a lot easier. We're going to have greater influence. And that's part of it. But really what's powerful is not just having that knowledge, but it's execution. Execution is where the power is. And it's great to have so much knowledge, to know so many things, but if we're not doing anything with what we know, then really we're just becoming like a warehouse, right? We're just holding all this information in our heads and we're just storing it up. But unless you're downloading it and putting it into action, then really execution is what you really need, not just having the knowledge. So hey, Amy. So one of the things I want to talk about is, how do you execute? Now that you have this great plan for 2018, how do you get into the execution mode? Because great companies also fail at this. So it's not just something that as entrepreneurs that we don't actually do well, but even large companies are also struggling to execute some of the great plans that they have put in place. So I just kind of want to share some things with you. If you have kind of worked out a plan for 2018, I want you to go back over that plan and look at it and see if it has some of these things that I'm going to share with you now included in that plan. So the first thing is, when you've planned out your 2018, have you even talked about the revenue goals? Have you kind of decided what revenue you would like to have for 2018? Have you thought about how much money you want to make for the year? And if you have, great. Now that you have the amount that you want to make for the year, how much do you need to make for a quarter to achieve that? So I want you to break it down into bite sizes, because sometimes if we have this huge number out there, and let's just take a very simple number that I could divide pretty quickly. Let's just take $144,000, right? So if you wanted to make $144,000 a year, then you would have to make at least $12,000 a month, right? And so if you're going to make $12,000 a month, then you also have to think, how much do I need to make a quarter, right? And so if you break it down like that, what happens is, if every day that passed by, so I want you to break it down by the quarter, and then break it down by the month, and then break it down by the day. And so each day that goes by, if you do not make that amount, then you know that you're off target. So, okay, sorry, my lights went out. Let me get my lights on for you guys. I'm gonna shift my seat. See how my light just came on by me shifting my seat? Okay, so if you, know how much you need to make every day and you're not making that amount, then clearly you know that you're off target. So this way you don't find out get to October and say, well, my gosh, how come I'm not making that money? So you need to know your numbers. Numbers are so really important. Now, I'm not a super fan of numbers, but I have learned how in my business, if you don't know your numbers, you're almost doomed. So you want to go ahead and figure out your numbers. So you figure out how much you need to make a day. Now, once you know that, you also need to know, how many customers do I need to even achieve that daily number? And how do I figure that out? How much are you selling it for? And so you can just do some simple math. Then you ask yourself, how many customers do I need to talk to before I can even get one number? And that's your conversion. And so that is something that you definitely want to go ahead and figure out. So when you're talking about execution and you're talking about making a particular amount, you got to know how much you're going to make. The next thing I want you to think about is putting your goals into bite sizes. So for instance, if you're thinking about having a really big program or taking on a really big project, ask yourself, okay, what are all the steps and the bite-sized projects that I need to do so I can actually achieve that goal? Because if I'm working on this project and I'm looking at it from bite sizes, then it doesn't seem so overwhelming. And a lot of times we get stuck or we quit, not because it was too hard, but because we just didn't know where to start, or we just look like we're so far away from where we're trying to go. So if you have a project, say for instance, you're deciding that you want to renovate a house, right? So many people right now are really doing a lot of flipping of houses, buying a house and then they're flipping it over. So if you're trying to renovate this house, the thing is, the end goal is the house, but break it down into how many, each room, which rooms would you first wanted to do. And then first, maybe you kind of figure out all the supplies that you need to buy. Or first, how many contractors do I need? And do I need an electrician or a plumber? If you start breaking it down into small parts of everything that you need, you're not tackling the whole house at one time, but you're just tackling it in bite sizes. And then from there, you can create yourself a to-do list. Now, your to-do list should be something that you actually can do in one day. Otherwise, there again, you're going to be in a state of overwhelm because you've put so many things there that you can't actually happen. And that's really why a lot of times we don't get into action, but we don't stay in action because we don't feel the success that we're looking to achieve by actually putting things into action. Once those things are in action and you're actually accomplishing them, think about how you're going to celebrate, right? Just celebrate for completing what you did. It could just be a simple celebration of, I'm going to watch my favorite television show, or it could be a simple of, you're going to go out, or whatever it is that makes you feel great about the fact that you actually did accomplish what you set out to do. So after you figured out your goals, you know your revenue, then what kind of support do you need? And this is where a lot of entrepreneurs, we get stuck. Because when we're thinking about support, the first thing we say is, I cannot afford anyone. I can't afford anyone to help me. I can't afford to hire anyone. There are so many services out there where you can get people at very inexpensive prices. So think about Upwork, think about Fiverr, think about community colleges, think about your cousin or uncle or nephew who's sitting there, who's unemployed, who may even have the skills. Think about putting out for an internship. There's so many different ways where you can get support, human support, physical support into your business that doesn't have to be at the premium price. And just ask yourself, if what I'm doing, if I can pay someone $10 an hour for it, then should I be doing it? Because really, you want to really focus on mostly revenue generating activities and executing the actual business. So look around for support. Look who can support you to get some of the things done so you can get this action done. Because if it takes you a really long time, then again, that overwhelmed feeling would come in. Then the other thing I want you to look at when you talk about support is look at software. Look at all the amazing software that's out there that could help you track. So I'm just going to share with you a few of the softwares that I use in my business to keep it going. So this way I can execute and I can get the things done that I need to get done in my business. I use Asana, and I use Asana for when I'm working with my team. So I have everyone in my group is virtual. Some of my team members, or some are just contracted people. And so when I use Asana, it allows me not only to give them assignments, but what it also does is it allows me to track when have they done the assignment or not. And so I can see what I give them a due date, and now I can find out, did they do it? Because Asana tells me this is overdue, and then Asana also sends me a message and let me know they completed the task. And so that really, really helps me, because if we're talking about executing, you got to keep track of all the activities that you're working on. Another thing that I use is called Pipedrive, and I use Pipedrive to keep my track of, you see my lights have gone off, right? Again, so I'm going to have to get up. Or I'm going to talk to you in the dark. Okay, there we go. Obviously, I'm in a place with motion lights. and I don't know, maybe I'm not moving enough for them. But anyway, so I use Pipedrive. When I'm using Pipedrive, I use that to track my clients. Not necessarily who are clients, but potential clients. And what Pipedrive allows me to do is it allows me to list down every person who's a potential client, how much that particular contract or deal or investment they would make if they're working with me. It also gets me to put down all the steps that I took in place before the deal closed. When I should call them. Did I call them? What was the result? What did I promise for the follow-up? Pipedrive even allows me to send emails straight from their site. So I find Pipedrive is a great way, because have you ever had a lead that you were working on and it's just feel like it's taking forever? And you go and look at the date, you might realize it's not really taking as long as it feels like. It's just that you feel like you've been working on it for so long. Or maybe you're working on a lead and it is taking 6 months and you really think it's not taking that long. So Pipedrive helps you to track that. Another reason why you want to know that, it helps you with your conversion numbers. So now you know exactly how long it takes for you to convert, or how long it takes you to close a deal. And so you're thinking, oh, this is going to be quick. I'm going to close this in 3 weeks. But if you have something like Pipedrive, you can see how long it took, all the different steps that you have taken. And from that, you know, oh my gosh, the normal deal takes about 6 months to close. And so that will help you in filling your pipeline and knowing how many people you need in your pipeline and how to get your business going. And another software I want to share with you is having a CRM. CRMs are great. Now, I use Constant Contact. I don't have anything super fancy, but I have found that Constant Contact meets all of my needs, right? I'm able to send emails out to my people who are on my list. I'm able to set up events. I can create lead pages. I can have people text right into my email list. So I have found that to be really good. So if you do not have a CRM, you need to get one, because how are you going to keep your people engaged if you don't have a way to follow up with them? So that's something that you want to do. So I just wanted to share those things for you. One big tip before I go, I want you to remember this word, because execution is the power, not knowledge. And why? Because of Ohio. Remember the word Ohio? Only handle it once. Only handle it once. And if you only handle something once, you can get it done. So what does that mean? As soon as you get it, do it. Don't put it on your to-do list. Don't put it in that pile. How many of us have piles on our desk of things that we're going to read and we never get to them? So I want you to do that. So I want to make a special offer to you today. If you are someone who realizes that execution is the power, if you really want to do it, you looked at all these things that I told you to look at, and I wanted you to take these things, you know, look at your revenue, look at your goals. Do you have support? Do you have any kind of software supporting you? And if you do in your plan, that is so great. Now I want you to take it another level. Would you love someone to help you get it done? We're offering just a few Get It Done days where we are going to be helping you, working with you on a one-to-one basis for you to get it done in your business. So this way, your strategy, your plan that you have, it's not just a plan, but it is going to be executed. And so if you're ready to go into 2018, not with another plan, not with just like pretty pictures and everything mapped out, but executing, getting it done, having results. I'm going to put a link into the comment section. Click on that link and let's talk about how you can get it done, how we can spend the day getting your plan done. Execution is power. Knowledge is great, but once you know it, you got to put it into action. And I would love to help you to put it into action. So why don't you give yourself the Christmas gift of executing? I'm Faithwithoutworksisdead. I hope you have an amazing holiday. I know that I will. And I am wishing you the best. Make this your best holiday by giving you yourself the gift of execution. Have a great day.